It's Friday, January 22nd, 2021. Wanted to make a video today to wrap up the week and just share a few thoughts with all of you. As I was out today in my area, traffic down, a lot of businesses closed. Even when I go by the Palm Springs Airport or the Bermuda Dunes Airport, I don't see the amount of private jets that I saw a year ago. Even the private jets aren't even coming here like they once did. And as I read more of the data, as I watch the news, as I talk to people, as I drive around, and I look at this real estate market, and what I see is a real estate reckoning coming in the housing market. The commercial real estate market is already collapsing, and we're going to see, no doubt, a collapse in the residential market right here in America. I was reading an article on Zero Hedge today. 2020 existing home sales highest since 2006. And I don't know about you, but that makes no sense whatsoever. When we look at these home sales and these home prices, take a look at what we're going through. This massive infection, 40 plus million people unemployed. The economy partially closed. In my area, it's pretty much closed. The political disruption that's taking place, the disruption that's happening socially in the divide. We are watching this real estate market overheat. It is going to melt down. Median price rose 12.9% in December from a year ago. Average price now $309,000. And so we're watching the media, the television tell people they need to go out and buy a house. These low rates suckering people into the housing market, and rising prices suckering people into the market because they believe that if they don't get in now, they're never going to get in. But how are they doing it when we're looking at this price surge in real estate, and then we look at income growth? Doesn't make any sense. When we look at the price of a house versus income growth, home prices are going up so much faster than people's income. A ticking time bomb. We are going to watch a massive housing bubble explode here in America. It's not going to pop. It is going to explode. Just look at fundamentally this. It does not even make any sense with what we're going through. When you look at this sickening economy, when you look at people's incomes, the income growth, the average income, wages, it doesn't make any sense how people are buying these homes. Now, of course, they're counting refis as sales, and that's making, obviously a big difference here. But prices have gone up, there's no doubt about it, and home sales have gone up, there's no doubt about it. And at what point does this all come to an end? I don't have the answer to that, but I know this for sure. It will come to an end without a doubt. So as we continue to watch the real estate bubble expand, the stock market bubble expand. I was reading an article today by Michael Snyder. It's titled, "We are suffering through the most painful economic crisis since the Great Depression of the 1930s. And I like Michael Snyder. I think he's a brilliant guy. And I want to just go through some of the points he made in the article. We've already discussed most of these, but just think about what we're seeing in the housing market right now. And then look at the data. Think about this. 12 million renters are at least $5,850 behind in rent and utility payments. 40 million people could be facing eviction when the rent and mortgage moratoriums finally end. Over 70 million people have filed for unemployment benefits since the crisis began. Another 900,000 people filed for new unemployment claims last week. An additional 423,000 people in 47 states filed new claims for pandemic unemployment assistance. New claims for unemployment benefits is averaging about 700,000 for 44 weeks in a row. And yet housing prices are going up. The real estate bubble continues to expand. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. But again, so much of this is an illusion. Seated diners have seen their traffic decimated, down 57% in the week through January 20th compared to a year ago. In 2020, it was the worst year in history for the hospitality industry. U.S. hotels saw profits fall to zero in 2020. Occupancy was down 66%. That's the worst in history. Now, truck drivers, beware. The new administration will be signing the Moving Forward Act, which will require you to maintain $2 million in insurance liability, more than doubling the existing $750,000. CNBC, TGI Friday CEO says ending the tipped minimum wage would result in higher prices, fewer hours for wait staff. This is going to be another nail in the coffin for the restaurant industry, for the bar industry. You're going to be paying more for a meal than you already are right now. And who at this point cannot see that prices at your restaurants and bars have skyrocketed? Who's going to even be able to afford to even go out to eat? If you can even go out to eat right now, but if you can, who's going to even be able to afford to do this when prices go up even more than they are now, when people are having their wages cut, their hours cut, their job losses? How is all this going to continue without it just imploding? It's unbelievable what we're watching take place. Remember, the cost will just be passed on to you. So it's going to be the employee that pays the price, and it's going to be the patron who's going to pay the price at the end of the day. The hedge today, the illusion of soaring savings amid rising economic uncertainty. This article made some really, really good points here. And again, we're watching markets at all-time highs. We're watching a real estate bubble. We're watching people out there continuing to spend money that they don't have. Americans, 44% of Americans worry they will not be able to retire. 23% say they have zero right now to retire on. 51% of Americans need a third stimulus check within the next 3 months. Over 50% of Americans could not last more than 3 months right now on their savings. 25% of Americans in their 60s could not last more than 3 months off their savings. 75% of Americans laid off couldn't come up with $500 in cash. The median net worth of households in the middle 20% of income rose 4% in inflation-adjusted terms to $81,900 between 1989 and 2016. For households in the top 20%, median net worth more than doubled to $811,000, and the top 1%, the increase was 178% to $11,206,000. This is between 1989 and 2016. And during that period, $19 trillion of wealth went to the top 1%. You see, if you're in the middle class or you're poor, you're being decimated right now, absolutely wiped out. And as people are being decimated, especially the middle class and the poor, as many millions of people here in America are going to witness their standard of living wiped out. It's going to change, ladies and gentlemen, for so many people. I find this interesting. CNBC today, GameStop soars nearly 70%, trading briefly halted amid epic short squeeze. The stock was $6 4 months ago, up 245% in 2021. It soared as much as 69.4% today to a high of $72.88. Closed up 51.1% at $65. They actually had to halt it because this thing was going up so fast. So what does it tell us? It's definitely a bellwether that we have a lot of adults sitting at home playing video games, collecting a stimulus check, collecting an unemployment check, many not paying rent, not paying a mortgage payment, basically living now from stimulus check to stimulus check, unemployment check to unemployment check. producing no goods, producing no services. Many people now just sitting at home, becoming more lazy, more obese, more dependent on the government. I look at the generation today and I compare it to my parents or my grandparents especially. What a difference in people. People today are just losing their identity. They're losing their self-worth. When you don't produce anything, when you don't do anything and you just get free money, people lose their self-worth. They lose self-respect. And this isn't to criticize or judge anybody, but take a look at people today. Completely out of shape. We have an obesity epidemic. People have no idea. They're so asleep. They have no idea. So many millions of people have no idea what I'm talking about right now. Unlike you guys know what's going on. You're awake. You're following what's happening in this economy. This economy is probably affecting you just like it's affecting me and everyone else. But you're paying attention to it, and you're strategizing and preparing for a full-out collapse, because there's no going back, ladies and gentlemen. The damage has been done, and it's continuing to be done. And there is no way to fix this. This economy, these markets will collapse. It will be a full-blown collapse, a full-blown meltdown in the stock market, in real estate, in bonds, and again, the average American standard of living is about to change, and not for the better. And so while people are asleep, while they continue to get more obese, more dumbed down, more unprepared, you will do the opposite. And these people are going to be victims of this economic collapse. And again, I'm not judging anybody. I'm not here to make fun of anybody. I'm very concerned about all of these people. I'm concerned about every American out there. And I'm doing the best that I can, just trying to make videos to wake you up. And most people, 98% of the people watching this video are wide awake. It's the 2% that I worry about. And for those people out there getting more obese, more dumbed down, more dependent on the government to feed you and to give you money, I'm here to tell you, if you're relying on the government to save you and to take care of you for the rest of your life, you're going to be in very, very sad shape. You are going to be living in a nightmare very shortly. Many people are going to wake up to reality one day. And for those people, it's going to be too late. Many people, when they do wake up, they're going to realize that they were duped into a Ponzi scheme stock market. Their pensions have been crushed. They're going to realize that they were duped into a real estate bubble, a bond bubble. Many people will wake up and they're going to, at that point, want to blame somebody. At that point, it's too late. At that point, it is about survival. And unfortunately, these people doubled down into these markets. They doubled down into real estate. And it's going to be too late. They are going to get wiped out. I make these videos so that you're not one of these people, so that you're at least thinking, diversifying, having an emergency plan, and really looking with some insight with what's happening right now. Because what's happening today is going to have big effects on you tomorrow. So you can look at something today, and you can develop and see where the trends are going to be. The trend is down. The U.S. dollar down. The stock market down. The real estate market down. This is all trending down. Look at what's happening right now. People are literally being victimized financially, especially the middle class and the poor. And yeah, that top 1% continues to get wealthier and wealthier. And again, this is why I make these videos, so that you are really critically thinking and having a plan here. And when these people wake up, they're going to want to play the blame game, and they're going to say, I can't believe this happened to me. Who did this? Whose fault is it? My pension's wiped out. It's too late. Right now, you already know who it's going to be. It's going to be the big banks. It's going to be the financial institutions. These are the people who are going to wipe you out. And so as I close this video, get out of the system. Don't worry about who to blame. It'll be too late. Right now, plan ahead. Plan for an emergency. Because when this whole thing goes down, it doesn't matter whose fault it is. What matters is what you're holding. What matters is, do you have a plan? What matters is, can you survive financially through this collapse? And even more so, can you prosper? If you're putting cash away, if you're putting gold and silver away, if you have a plan, if you're putting that food and water away, if you have security, I truly believe you will get through the collapse. I truly believe you will prosper during the worst of times. We all got to start thinking like the central banks. We all got to start thinking like the top 1%. We got to start thinking about how we're going to survive this. And if we don't have a plan, if we don't have something put away, we're not going to survive it. So as we go into the weekend, think about what you can do to put the odds in your favor. Think about what you can do to get through this depression. It's not going to last a few months. It's not going to last a few years. This is going to last well over a decade. And if you plan correctly, you're going to survive it and you're going to prosper. But for tens and tens of millions of people, they're going to wake up, pensions wiped out, stocks wiped out, bonds wiped out, real estate investments wiped out. They're done. They're wiped out. Their entire wealth is wiped out. Their futures are wiped out. Don't be one of these people. I see huge opportunity and I see huge sales coming. For people who are saving, for people who have patience, for people who have a plan, I think many of these people are going to become quite wealthy and quite prosperous. God bless every one of you. Have a phenomenal weekend. Make sure you're planning this weekend. Put the odds in your favor and continue to walk close to God. Big things are coming in 2021 now. And it's going to be exciting times. It's going to be scary times. Continue to prepare.